I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. What's going on? I'm making sure I ain't ask you. What's good? What's happening? I'm waiting for y'all to trickle on in. And then guess what? We're going to have a discussion. We're going to talk. And we're going to talk about what? About becoming great. About taking your life to a different level and why it's so important. Why it's so important. Why it's, at this stage of the game, why it's so life and death. I mean, because it really is. But I'm waiting for y'all to trickle on because we're going to talk about when you stop trying to become great. Don't ask why you keep attracting average. Because again, a lot of people are in that situation today. They stop dreaming. They stop living. They play defense all the time. And they still wonder, why do I keep attracting this type of crowd? This type of dude, these type of situations. Because I don't know if you've noticed this, but I don't know if you've ever, say you've moved away, and I give you a great case in point. Say you've moved away, and say you see, somebody on your timeline from your hometown. Now, folks from my hometown, not all, but a couple, they still kind of do the same things we were doing 20 years ago. Having the same conversations, having the same beefs, having the same issues, and handling the same things the same way from 20 years ago. Not everybody, but a couple that I've kind of noticed. And it's kind of like, dang, they having the same conversations as we had, 10, 15, 20 years ago. They have, some of them had moved forward, in terms of how to handle things. You got 40-something-year-old people getting into a Facebook war, threatening to roll up on people, and they in their 40s, doing the same things they were talking about doing when they were in their 20s. See, that right there will keep you in the land of average. Hey, Lee. Hey, Yvonne. That right there, the mentality, sometimes your area, even sometimes your family members can keep you in Averageville. And you don't want to live in Averageville because everybody is pretty much on the same level. Ain't nobody really trying to do anything because everybody is, pretty much content. Because if you notice some of my posts, one of the things that I'll always put on my post is something to the effect of, life didn't stop at 23. Life didn't stop at 21. Life didn't stop at 22. You'll always kind of see me say stuff like that. And whenever you see me hashtag life didn't stop at, what I'm basically saying is, for a lot of people, life stops after college. It's kind of like you get your degree, you get your job, you probably get married, have a couple kids, and, it's a wrap. Everything is pretty much systematic. It's pretty much scripted in terms of, I'm going to go in, I'm going to, work from around 9, get off at 4, get off at 5, boom, pick the kids up, boom, you done cook, you pretty much go in your room, you lay on the bed, you watch, your Wendy Williams, you probably boot up with your phone or boot up with your computer, or if you're business like, you probably got your phone and your laptop on your bed and you do the same things every day. And that's what life has conditioned us and taught us to become average. Don't do it anymore. You don't want to stress yourself. You don't want to strain yourself. What's going on, beautiful people? But living that type of life will kill you. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. First thing, let's start off with the lie. Can we talk about the lie? Let's talk about the lie. Let's address the lie. And the lie is, essentially, we've been taught to be average. Think about it. We've been taught to, go to school, do this, do that. You really don't want to rock the boat. Just be cool. Every time, somebody threatens to be extraordinary, there's a backlash with it. So we've been kind of taught and conditioned to, kind of play your role. Don't rock the boat. Be like everybody else. Just kind of blend in. So we've been conditioned to be average. Now, you ask, how do I stop becoming average if I've always been conditioned subliminally and subconsciously to be average? That's easy. You have to expose yourself to bigger and greater things. You have to make yourself, first of all, you have to make yourself extremely uncomfortable. Let me give you something good. When I was in South Carolina, I probably was making 24, maybe two. Matter of fact, second year I did it, because the first year I barely made $6,000 doing what I'm doing, barely. And then the second year I made $24,000, and I thought I was doing all right, in South Carolina. $24,000, I thought I was balling until a friend of mine, Ray Leonard Jr., Sugar Ray Leonard's son, said, "Hey man, why don't you come on down here, hang out with us, y'all blah." I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to the A. And I'm going to see what's going on in the A. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'll be on down there. I wasn't ready for what I was about to see. Let me give you something good. So I pull up, and it's this gated community. Okay? Now keep in mind, I'm from the country in South Carolina, making 24 grand, thinking I'm balling. But I pull up to this gated community, and there were many mansions, and they were all owned by black people. Let me give you something good. Where I'm from, black people do not own mansions. Black people, where I'm from, we're doing real good if we live in shotgun houses. The houses that the reason why you call them the shotgun is if you're living in one end of the house, you literally can shoot, if you had a gun, from one end to the house to the other end of the house, to where it's just basically from here to here. There's no second floor, good people. It's just basically, it's one hallway that leads you from one end to the other. Boom. That's where it is. So when I saw all of this, and I saw, you get into the house, and you saw three levels, and you saw the crystal chandelier hanging up. You saw, the baby grand piano in the other room. You saw the spiraling staircase going all the way from the top floor to the bottom floor. You saw the elevator in the house. You saw the movie theater on the first floor. You saw the bar all set up, like your favorite bar, that you went to in your college, all set up. Now, after you see all of that, you ask yourself, whenever you're really, really honest, you ask yourself, okay, so what am I doing? You see what I'm saying? You ask yourself, so what am I really doing? Because it causes you to evaluate what you're doing in life. Because see, it's kind of like I was a big fish in a small pond where I was from. So I go to a bigger ocean, and I'm like, dang, what am I really doing? Could I really, could I do better? Yes. So while you're not doing better, then I had to become, very honest with myself. And when I asked myself that question, the thing that came from my spirit was, because you're comfortable. You're comfortable. You You live in a place where you were a college and hometown hero, and you're comfortable there, but you'll never grow there because you're comfortable. Everybody knows your name. You know, you doing enough to have you some money at the end of the month, and you become cool with that. You got a little system the way you pay, you pay your rent, you pay your car note, you pay this, that, and the other, and you still got some money left. But it ain't nothing to build upon. But then you come down here, come to the ATL where people are not, living like you're used to, and you're starting to see some stuff, and when you talk to people, you notice that they ain't better than you. It's really what's going on. So it's so funny because after that, got back home, I'm sitting in the living room, and I'm chilling. God spoke to me. God says, the gift that I've given you is greater than the area you're serving. Make sure the world gets what you have. Again, I'm happy that the Lord just spoke to me, gave me a word, but as soon as I got happy, I understood the responsibility that came with it. Now, you can do either one or two things. You can either go, boom, I'm going to bypass that. I'm going to act like I didn't hear it because I'm comfortable. Or you can step out on faith and say, you know what? Life is too short for me not to be able to experience God's promises. So let's step out on faith, because the same God that's in Clemson, South Carolina, he's still, he's everywhere. And so he's in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm like, shoot, let's move. Let's become greater. And because I made that move, this company is a multi-million-dollar company. Because I decided to move. But that move would have never happened if I never would have been exposed to something bigger than where I was currently. If I didn't make myself uncomfortable, I wouldn't be halfway comfortable. So it goes back to exposure. You got to deal with people that's doing it bigger than you. That will keep you out of the land of average, I promise you. Get with people who's doing it bigger. Get with people who are doing the things that you have talked yourself out of. It will inspire you to become your greater self. But if you're always dealing with the same people you grew up with in the same area, that everybody knows your name like Cheers, guess what? You'll never grow. You'll always stay the same. So, third point, getting back to what I was saying. Sometimes you just got to leave, the place where you're familiar in order to find yourself, to find your better self. If you hear me say chase after your herd, see, the chase requires you to do something. I mean, you have to be honest with yourself. Are you growing where you are? Are you getting better where you are? And then ask yourself the question of, if I was somewhere else, could I be doing better? So if that requires you to leave the place where you're familiar, you got to make that move. Because again, you're chasing after her, and her is your greater self. That's your better self that you need to see before you die. You need to experience everything you see here in front of you versus always hoping and wishing, but it's going to require you to make some sacrifices. It's going to require you to make some changes, but you have to be willing to do it or you'll never see your greater self. So again, you have to continue and strive to improve. To get better so you can see your greater self. And guess what? It ain't going down. And you wonder why you keep attracting the same people. Let me clue you in on that too before I go. Because what normally happens is when you stop growing, you stay the same. Now, let me give you something good. The more you grow, the bigger you get, The more you work on your image, the more attractive you become. And guess what? The more attractive you become, the more attractive people you attract. The more opportunities, the attractive opportunities you will attract too, because you've made yourself attractive. Now, let me give you something else that's good. The more attractive you become, the more you're able to weed out people. You see what I'm saying? So let me give you something good. When you look average, when you sound average, when you do average, when you do average things, you go to average places, you have the same average schedule, anybody will attempt to holler at you, to talk to you. And basically you'll talk to them for 3, 4, 5 months and then decide it ain't for you. You done gave up everything during the process. You done wasted another 4 or 5 months of your life because dude wasn't afraid to approach you because you looked average. You looked like the other 3, 4 other chicks he hollered at before. There was nothing different about you. Versus if you set yourself up to a standard of excellence, we will, as men, we will disqualify ourselves from talking to you because we will figure, I can't afford that. This is out of my pay grade. This is out of my league. I'm not even going to attempt it because this right here is special and I'm not there yet. Again, I can't afford that. That's out of my league. That's why you have to continuously work on yourself and become greater, because again, you don't want to waste time with people who see you as average, treat you as average, and then it end up being another average breakup, another average relationship. Again, you're phenomenal. You deserve phenomenal, and you deserve phenomenal people to holler at you. But again, it starts with how you position you. It starts back how you leverage you, and it starts back to you investing and buying into your greater you. I'm telling you. So continue to get better in all areas of life. It's going to pay off. I promise you. You have my word. But it's going to require you you have to get hungry with it. It has to be an obsessive everyday deal. It has to be a commitment. You know, it's kind of like the LA Raiders. Their motto is it's a commitment to excellence. And that's how you have to be when it comes to you and your growth as a person in terms of just getting better and greater all the time. Because if you're not improving, guess what? You're dying. As they always say, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. Who wants to get worse? How do you get worse? By not getting better, by not doing anymore, by not improving, by just being stagnant, having the same problems and issues you had last year. If you still complaining about the same stuff you were complaining about last year, you're stuck. You're running fast just to stand still, and that's no way to live. So I encourage you, look, continue to get greater, because there is greater. But it's going to require you to work every day, to be committed every day. But at the end of the day, guess what? You're worth it. So go get it. So love y'all. Knock out your homework. And we're going to rock and roll. Continue to press towards your greater self. You'll thank me for it. Love y'all. Have a great one.